Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of day it is for you, whatever you're doing. I hope you are having an amazing day, manifesting some epic things, feeling just epic and awesome, and enjoying it, basking in it. So I hope you guys can hear me. If you're on here, let me know if you can hear me, because I just want to make sure that that's a thing and that you can hear everything I'm saying, and I think you can. So I'm gonna roll with this. Hi Jamie, how are you? This morning, hi Mario, I wanted to talk about settling, and it is one of the biggest things that I've noticed can stunt your manifestations and kind of slow down your process of manifesting and slow down your process of creating what you truly want. But I want to remind everyone before I get going that we live in an ever-expanding universe. We're always going to be expanding and growing and getting bigger and wanting more, and our expectations and our desires and our wants and our needs are going to expand with that. So just remember, you're always expanding, just like the universe is. So your ideas and your expectations should also be expanding, which is why you don't want to settle, and you always want to expect more for yourself and do more for yourself and want more for yourself. So that's where I wanted to start with this. So wanting more for yourself is awesome. It's great. Always want more, and always strive to do better, and always want to do more for yourself and create more for yourself. That's not selfish. That's being a deliberate creator, since we do live in this ever-expanding, amazing universe. A lot of times we settle because we think that what we have is good enough. It's good enough. It may not be exactly what I want, but it's good enough. We worry that what we have now is as good as we're gonna get, and that if we didn't have this, what we would have is worse. So we kind of let ourselves stay in that good enough or so-so place, because we're afraid that if we don't at least have this, what we're gonna have is way worse than what we actually could get. We may not think we're worthy of what we want. We may not think that, we may want that love, we may want that job, we may want that beautiful house, but we might not think that we're actually worthy of getting it. And so we settle for the things that we believe we might be worthy for. You know, the mediocre love, or the so-so house, or the job that doesn't pay enough. Those things are not true. Just please remember that you are worthy of all of the things that you want to have, and you wouldn't be thinking of them if you weren't worthy of them. I'm going to get to that later, though. And we also fear what we don't know. Fear of the unknown is a huge reason why people settle, and I get it. I totally get it, because it's kind of scary to take that leap or go for that thing, because you don't know how it's going to work out. And that fear in itself can be enough for you not to do those things, or not to go after those things, and to settle for where you are and just stay where you are because it's comfortable for now. But when you stay in that comfort zone, you can't grow, you can't get bigger, you can't expand. And eventually those ideas and those desires that are coming to you, they're going to slow down. You're not going to get them as much because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to expand and get bigger, if that makes sense. So when you settle into anything, comfortable or not, whether you like it or not, when you settle into it, you're going to continue to create it, because you're going to be going through the same motions and thinking the same thoughts, and it gets boring. That pattern gets really, really boring when you're in that settled zone. And if anything, don't settle just because you don't want that monotonous life. There are different ways that you can change things in your life every day. You don't have to settle for the same coffee shop. You can change it up. You don't have to settle for the same 4 restaurants you go to. You don't have to settle for the same beach. Change something, change things. You don't be in that state of living the same day every single day and calling it a life. You want to live a different life every day, because that's exciting and that's fun, and that's how new things are going to come into your mind. That's how you're going to meet new people. That's how you're going to make those connections with new friends. That's how you're going to make connections to get a new job. That's how you're going to make connections to find the love of your life. It's by changing these things. It's by changing it up and not being afraid to get out there and do something different. So don't settle for what you don't want. That's a big one. Never settle for the things that you don't want to have in your life. Please, don't do it. And we do this sometimes. I've done it. I've thought about doing it. There have been times where I've definitely done it, and there are times when I think about doing it and say I don't want to settle, and then I decide not to. When we do this, when we settle for the things that we don't actually want, we're okay with it in the beginning, but then eventually we start to resent the person we're settling for, or the job we're settling for, the things that we're settling for, because they're not actually what we want. So listen to your intuition, listen to your gut feelings. If something feels kind of off, if you feel like you're settling, if it doesn't feel like a good fit for you, listen to that, because it's coming up for a reason. You know, we're always going to be getting messages from our higher self and the universe, and we're going to be led on this awesome journey to the things that we want as they grow and expand, and we create more things that we want for ourselves. So when you settle, you're kind of stopping that energy for yourself. It's almost like, think of like a garden hose, and if you like twist it, or if you like if you bend it so the energy's not flowing, you get that little bit that you cut off, it comes out and then it stops. And then you have all that buildup that you're stopping. Don't do that to yourself. That's what like settling will do to you. You'll have all that energy behind you that's not moving forward, and then you get that little bit of energy that you liked and that you settled for, but then it stops coming out because it's not something that you actually want. Hopefully that's a good metaphor for you guys to picture this. So even if something on paper looks perfect and everyone is telling you that this thing is the thing you want, but you don't actually want it, don't settle for it. That doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you inferior. Don't settle for the things that you don't want to actually have, because that's not how you grow. So some tips I have for you guys for not settling is, and this can be either to spice things up in your life a little bit, this can be to bring about change, this can be to just maybe change the things you have settled for a little bit. There's endless reasons to, shifting that settled energy. One is ask yourself what feels better. What would feel better about my job? Like, what could I do that would make it feel better? What could I do that would make my relationship feel better? What could I do that would make my life feel better? What could I do that would make my morning more exciting? And ask yourself these things and then go do them. It's one thing to ask, it's a whole different thing to actually go forward and do it. And this kind of change, those kind of changes, that what feels better, is not scary. It's actually kind of fun and exciting. So always ask yourself, all the time, always be willing to expand and go into something that would feel more exciting. And if you do this every day and ask yourself what would feel better in that moment or in that scenario, or what would feel more exciting for you, you're gonna live a more exciting life. You're gonna live a more happy, fulfilled life, and you're gonna start to get those spurts of inspiration, because when you're in that flow state, that's when the universe really starts, those messages just start coming in like crazy, and it's awesome. And you're gonna get the insights, you're gonna get the ideas, you're gonna get the inspiration, you're gonna start thinking of different things that you can do, you're going to, like I said, make new connections with people that you're aligned with. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be awesome. Number 2 is see if the thing that's being presented, this thing that the universe is sending you to settle for, it's here to teach you about more of what you actually want. So when we're consciously creating, we're always sending out rockets of desire. Like, say you want a relationship. This is a good example for this. Say you would love to have a relationship. You've been asking for one for years or months or whatever. You are ready for a relationship. And someone comes along and they seem pretty perfect on paper. They have all the boyfriend and girlfriend materials that you're looking for. You know, they're really nice. They really enjoy your company. They want to see you a lot. They're cute, like whatever. But something in it, and you like the person and you have a good connection, all of those things. But as you start to go on dates and stuff, something still just doesn't feel right. You don't feel that connection, and you are worrying that you are going to start to settle for this person because they seem very, very perfect, but the energy is not lining up. So you can settle, and that will be fine. Whether you settle or you don't settle, there's no wrong way to do this, guys. Even if you do settle for something, it's okay. You can always, learn from it, move out of it, or maybe what you settle for you love and you just keep doing it, and that's great. But if you settle and it's really not a match, you're going to find all of these reasons are going to start coming up. They're going to come to the surface to why this person's not a match for you. Maybe they seemed like they were a really good listener at first, but then they actually never listened to a word you said. Maybe they seems like a really good boyfriend and you liked it a lot, but maybe they were clingy, or maybe your girlfriend was really clingy and it was just too much for you, and you realize that maybe you don't want someone who's going to be wanting to be around you 24/7. Maybe you liked the idea of it on the outside of the relationship, but when you got into it, or when you started to get closer to getting into it, you realized it wasn't what you wanted. So these opportunities could come up, and these may be things that you have sent out as rockets of desire for years, but you don't actually want them. Maybe you thought you wanted them at a time, and now it's being presented to yourself, and it's not something that you actually truly want, and that's okay to change your desire. Like in the case of the relationship, in the case of someone being very clingy or very, codependent or something, some people love that, and that's great. And if you are that way, that's not a bad thing, let everybody be who they are. But you may be a very independent person. So you may have wanted over the years someone to just want to be with you because you've been independent. But then because you've been so independent, you realize that you do need your alone time, and you do need to have that time to go back to yourself, and maybe you don't want to be talking all the time. And those things you're going to learn as these situations are presenting themselves, which is why I'm saying if something doesn't feel right, if that's the reason, or if there's another reason, don't settle for it, because this situation is being presented and you're learning more about yourself and you're learning more of what you want. And when this happens, you're shooting out more rockets of desire. And if you're settling for what you want, you're not making room for new things to come in at all. So you don't want to do that. It's not going to help you. So hopefully that made sense. My third tip is don't fear the unknown. Because even if things go badly, even if you have moments of contrast, they're not going to last forever, and you're going to learn from them, and you're going to learn more about what you want. The unknown is scary. We don't like not knowing where we're going. We don't like not knowing what's going to happen. We want to have all the answers. But the only thing that we can ever really count on is change. And with change comes the unknown. So don't be afraid to not move forward with something because you don't know what will happen instead of it. Because you not settling is you giving yourself a chance to level up and to get to the next level and to start creating better things. And who wouldn't want that? And my fourth tip is never give up on what you want. Please. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your desires. Don't give up on your goals by settling for something that you are okay with, but don't actually ultimately want. Go for the things that set like a fire inside of you. Go for the things that make you excited about life. Go for the things that you truly love and that are really aligned, and that when you're doing them, you're in your flow state, you're smiling, you're happy, you're laughing, that light comes out of you when you go after those things. When you go after what you want, you become this like force of unstoppable energy, and it's amazing and it's beautiful, and it's a process, and there may be moments where during that process you have a couple of blunders, or you hit a bump in the road, or you fail a couple times, but you get back on doing it, And every time you do that, you grow more and you bring that in more. And yeah, so just don't give up on what you actually want, because you're always going to want more, and you're always able to have more, and you're always able to attract more to yourself. So I guess that's the reason why I'm saying don't settle, because the sky's the limit and you're always going to be able to have more, which is amazing. I think that's all I have for today. I think that's all I have prepared. That's all that's coming through my head. So I hope this video resonates. I hope the messages resonate. I am so excited that I got to do this because it's been a little while since I did a live. And if you have questions, please let me know. If you have other topics you would like me to cover in these videos, definitely let me know, because you guys give me the best ideas all the time. And let me know what you're manifesting. Let me know what you're working towards. Let me know your goals. Let me know what you're working on attracting, and because I love hearing about it. And I'm sure other people would love to hear about it too. So I'm gonna go and work, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. It's like absolutely beautiful where I am right now, and I'm so pumped about it. So I love you guys, and I wish you all the best on your manifesting journeys and on your day and on your weekend. And I hope you just create the most amazing things for yourself. Love and light.